Hello, my students and scientists, and today I'm going to be reviewing Transformers, Cybertron, and Generation Select's Hotshot. Now, before we continue on, I want to make an acknowledgement that this video is somewhat dedicated towards Kirby Morrow, who provided the voice of Hotshot Prime. I'd also like to thank my good friend Bart, who I'll link his channel down in the description below, for providing the Cybertron Hotshot figure, which we're going to start with. So, I don't have the original Hotshot figure, or any of the Armada or the animated, the Armada, Energon, or the animated one that they were going to release. But what I do have access to is bulky, armored, bulky Hotshot here. And he's a gorgeous looking figure. I'm loving the blues, the light blue, bluish grey on him, the red, the black, and the yellow pop. Now, for those of you who do not know, mild spoilers with the Cybertron cartoon, Hotshot received this form after Megatron, who I did review on the channel, got his upgraded form. Well, new Cyber Planety, which gave him a Gitlick, and him, Scattershot, and Red Alert were all badly damaged, and they spent 2 episodes trying to repair them. Hotshot took on the form of an armoured personnel carrier, and he is gorgeous, as you can tell by the beefy shoulders. He's one beefy boy. So, down to articulation, his head is on a swivel joint. Due to transformation, he can look up quite far and go like, jeez, look at that tree. Can't look down. His arms can do a full 360. They can go slightly out, but if you move the cannons out of the way, they can go a bit more out and in. Cannons back up. About 90-degree bend at the elbow. Nothing at the wrist, due to it being fused to the plate. Nothing at the waist. Pretty alright spread for his legs. And if you move these bits forward, his legs can go forward that far, backwards quite a bit further, and a very nice 90-degree bend at the knee. Just over that. And a little bit of toe articulation due to transformation. Now, accessory-wise, he does come with a knife. This is a bog stand knife, and there's a 5mm port, so he can hold it in his hand, like, I'm gonna shank you, or you can put it in that slot there, and go like, Mass Effect Hotshot, new DLC character, coming never. But, yep, there's not really any storage except for on this part of his leg here. You can just take this, tab it, and put it there. But, like I've mentioned before when I've reviewed Cybertron figures, the main gimmick of the line, Cyber Planet keys. Now, Hotshot does have a port in the back here, and it will, if we bring up the cannons here real quick, we'll plug it in, he has missiles for days. And when I say he has missiles for days, I mean he's got 4 up on top of his shoulder. He has missile launchers in his shoulder. He has missiles in his shins. So, you can literally say goodbye to that thing all the way over there. So now let's fold it all back up and get down to the fun part of transformation, as that's what everybody wants to. Hotshot has probably one of the most interesting transformations. So first of all, pull back the gun turret and flip up the head. Straighten the arms and push them in. You want them to collapse on that joint, like so. Bring the arms up, and they will make that satisfying click and tab into place. Next, fold the feet down. So you've got these X's out more. Then you collapse the legs, and collapse everything, after moving the hip skirts out of the way, into place. Bring the turret down, and here you have Hotshot in his armoured personnel carrier mode. And it's pretty good. Now, for a second wave, it is actually a very lovely figure. As you can see, if we get close here, it's very lovely. I will use this to point out a little bit of stress marking on the windshield here. But, yeah. Now, he does have a little bit of articulation. The turret can rotate through a full 360, and the guns can go up and down, so, you know, he can still shoot people if he needs to. And he rolls pretty well on these big, chunky wheels. And, of course, the Cyber Planet key still works, but you don't have access to the shoulder or that missiles. You do get access to these missiles, which also pop up these guns, and, of course, if you put the Planet key in, you still get the gun missiles, which, again, I'm not going to question because of the Cybertron we're talking about here. And of course, the knife does get a little bit of storage. You can shove it in this slot here. So you can literally be like, Prime, I'm going to go drive and stab that person. Well, that would be it for poor Hotshot with a cancelled deluxe class figure in the animated line. The only other toy we would get of Hotshot that would be called Hotshot would be 2 recolors and slight remolds in the Transformers Age of Extinction and Prime cartoon line. A remold and slight recolor of deluxe class Bumblebee and Crosshairs from Age of Extinction. But when fans were told that Galaxy Prime was a thing, we weren't expecting Generation Selects to drop him. This is War for Cybertron Siege Generation Select Hotshot. And I saw this figure and immediately was like, I need that, because Hotshot for me was a big part of my childhood. As you can see here, he uses the War for Cybertron Siege Hound mold. And it's a very lovely mold. If you get close here on the head sculpt, it is similar to what we saw on the War for the Cybertronium form. Now, one thing I will say, I don't really like the lack of accessories. Now, you can buy a DNA kit for Hotshot here, but I never did. You can actually buy it in Hound colors, too. Articulation-wise, his head is on a ball joint, so I can do a full 360. He can look up a little bit and down a little bit. Arms can do a full 360. They can go in and out. They can even move on this transformation joint. Swivel at the bicep, bend at the elbow, and even a little bit of wrist articulation. A swivel at the waist. Legs go forward that far and back that far. Even the kibble doesn't get in the way, and they can pull out to do a pretty decent spread. Also, a little bit of ankle articulation, so, you know, he can do that pose. I have to say they've got the colours on point. The one thing I will agree with most people is that this scuffing paint job I don't really like. So, to transform Hotshot into his Jeep mode, bring back his arms. Fold up the bonnet. Fold up the entire roof and cab section. Bring it all out. Fold this up. Fold his arms in. Rotate his at the biceps. Bring the arms down. Like so. Come to the legs and basically untab it all, because you're going to unfold a lot of it. Fold the legs in, and while you're doing it, move this part back. Collapse it in, and then this tab here will tab into a slot in there. Like so. Straighten everything out and fold the foot down. Second verse, much like the first. Fold down. Tab this part together, because you don't want it to split up, and then tab this part down. Tab it all in, and bring it in. Now, you can take the weapons here, and put it on the Jeep mode, but you take this part, and this hole will sit over this post. Collapse in. This part can sit in this 5mm port, or that 5mm port, or the 5mm ports on the sides here. You can take the big gun and put it in the middle one, and here is Hotshot in his Jeep mode, and I absolutely love it. For comparison, here is the original toy, and here is the redo. And I have to say, it's a faithful reconstruction of this. Now, he can roll, like all rolling things should. He's still got these big old wheels. And if you move this gun out of the post, he still gets the full 360-degree turret rotation, but no elevation angles, unfortunately. So, once again, this video was made to honour the late Kirby Morrow, who passed away last year from COVID. And a huge thank you again to Bart for supplying me with the ability to review Transformers, Cybertron, Cybertron Defense Team, Hotshot. Now, one thing I will point out is, yes, the Autobot symbols are different. This is Duncan saying G1 Superion, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!